Good morning, Group B people. We're going to try some new things this week and see how this works. And I'll kind of get feedback from you when you're in the classroom. But like normal, we have a warm-up if you would like to pause the video so that you can both write down what we're doing and take a couple minutes to do the warm-up. That would be great. I'll give you 3, 2, 1, and I'm moving on. Okay, so the warm-up today is finding the slope. Remember, when we are on a graph, I'm figuring out how much I'm going up. Positive is up. We're going up 2 and over 3, and to the right is always positive, so my slope here is, whoops, take that back. My slope here is positive 2/3. Okay, if I have 2 points, I'm going to use the slope formula. Change in y over change in x, which means I'm going to subtract the y's in the numerator, subtract the x's in the denominator in the same order. So my slope here, I'm going to start with this point and subtract that point. So negative 13 minus negative 3 and 6 minus 2. I'm going to change this to add the opposite. I'm going to get negative 10 over 4. So I could reduce this to negative, excuse me, 5/2. Okay, so those are things we should know from before. The homework, I'm going to say just 2 things really briefly. I'm going to remind us all that the slope formula is what we just did. Change in y over change in x, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Slope-intercept form, which we're going to be working with a lot today, y equals mx plus b. And then the standard form, we haven't worked with that as much, ax plus by equals c. I'm going to leave the rest of this for when you're in class on Wednesday, because I'm going to ask some questions about finding slope, about writing equations, and about horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm going to save that. So also save your questions. All right, so let's get into what we're going to do today. We are graphing in the slope-intercept form. So we want to remember slope-intercept form is the one that has the slope and the y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. I would pause the video here and make sure that when we're done talking about this, you write down this step by step. If we're graphing using the slope-intercept form, you're going to graph your y-intercept, the b value, on the y-axis. We're going to put a dot there. We're going to use the slope to figure out if we're going up and right or down and right. We're going to do it 2 times because 3 points makes it easier to get a straight line. And then we're going to draw a line through those points. Remember that lines go on and on forever, so they technically go off the edge of our graph. Okay, pause if you need more time to write that down. Here's an example for you. If I'm looking at this one, here's what I am doing. I am first looking at the y-intercept, so b equals negative 3. I go to the y-axis. I go to negative 3 and I put a point. Then I'm going to use the slope of 1/2. Positive tells me I'm going to go up 1, to the right 2. So from that point on the y-axis, I'm going to go up 1 over 2. That's my first one. Up 1 over 2, that's what we were talking about. Do it twice so that I can get a good number of points. And then I'm going to draw the line through this. Better still if you have a straight edge, but I'm going to freehand these. Okay, so again, the 2 steps are just plot the y-intercept, the b value, on the y-axis, use the slope to get 2 more points, and then draw the line through it. Okay, so what I would do is stop the video and try these. I'm going to show you how to do them, but you can check when you're done. Hopefully you've got some graph paper that you could just plot these real quickly. Okay, so again, stop the video, do them yourself, and then check against what I've got to say. So stop the video, 3, 2, 1, because I'm moving forward. Okay, if I have this one, my y-intercept is the number that's by itself, so again, -3. I'm going to plot that on the y-axis. My slope here is, if you look at this before, there's no number, but there's a negative sign. That means it's -1. I can think of that as -1 over 1. The negative tells me I am going down 1 and then to the right 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And I'm going to draw my line through those, showing that it goes edge to edge. If I'm using a straight edge, I would just definitely draw it from edge to edge. Number 3, again, y-intercept is -4, so I'm going to plot that point. Y-intercept is always my starting point. Then I'm going to use the slope of +3, and I can think of that as 3 over 1. That tells me I'm going up 3 to the right 1. I'm going to go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. I'm going to draw that line. Extend it to the edge. Okay, number 4. Always the same, right? Y-intercept is -6. Plot that point on the y-axis. Here, if I look without a number there, that tells me that I've just got 1x. So my slope is 1. That's 1 over 1, so I'm going up 1 over 1. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, put a dot, up 1 over 1, put another dot, draw my line, edge of graphs, put my arrows. And our last practice problem, I've got y equals 4x minus 1. My y-intercept, again, the number that's by itself. Plot that point. My slope is the number that's out in front of the x. That's 4. I can think of it as 4 over 1. Positive tells me go up. I'm going to go up 4 and to the right 1. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Draw in my line. Put my arrows. Okay, so hopefully those examples helped so you can see if you know what you're doing. A couple of reminders before I finish. Group B will be in person tomorrow. Your homework from tonight will be checked as you're doing the warm-up at the beginning of class, so we need to make sure we've got it done. As I said before, you're also going to be showing me what you know about calculating slope, writing equations of lines, and some horizontal vertical line stuff. Things that we should know that we did last week, but our end of the week quiz was not as good as I would like to see. So we're going to go over that in class while we have the time to answer questions. Okay, so you check the Google Classroom. Your homework is there. Another thing that I'm going to give you while you're in the classroom tomorrow is a packet of all the homeworks. So you're going to have to kind of struggle through this one if you don't have graph paper. Do be good about labeling some points. You don't have to draw the grid, but I will be giving you the homeworks for the rest of the quarter tomorrow when you're in there. So looking forward to seeing you all while you are in class tomorrow. Bring your homework ready to be checked. See ya.